Oladele is here, and so I'm going to invite you to join the live if you are ready. And I'm really excited for this conversation, actually. Um, I started a Black History Month challenge at the start of the month, but I didn't post it, where I started writing poems in response to the Black Secret 100 Facts. So I started going through the facts and writing poems about
Oh,
each one.
you gone through it?
Yeah. I've been going through them bit by bit and writing poetry in response. But my poetry was so angry. It was just like, yeah.
Yeah.
And they
We go through those emotions, Ebony. We do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Working on that at the moment. But it is great to have you here with me today. Thank you so much for joining. If you let us know who you are and what you do, and then we'll start there.
Who am I? I'm simply Oladele. No, no titles, no appellatives, nothing. I'm simply who God made me, who my creator made me. So yeah. What do I do? I'm on a journey of trying to wake our people up at the moment. So I'm about, you've watched our program, decolonizing our minds and awakening the consciousness of our people. We have an organization called Emerging Trailblazers, which is basically what we do is basically to bring people together. So obviously that's how I met you, and that's what we keep doing. So as we do it, we collab. We are meeting up people all the time, and I love networking. So that's basically where you find like-minded people, and we've been doing a lot of that. And what we're doing with Emerging, I'll say we're gonna have the Our Keblan Awakening series, which is part of the Emerging Keblan, where we just get speakers, people who are awakened, people who know history, economists, spiritual topics, you name it. Nothing's off limit. So we go in there, we dissect it, we'll put it on the table just to give people a perspective of that they never see. Because if you're in the Eurocentric educational system, a lot of things are hidden. So, because I've been in this journey now probably for the last 8-9 years where, I just looked at everything around me and I thought, you know what, everything's wrong. Everything I've been taught is a freaking lie, excuse my language. Everything's wrong. And, things are just not the way they seem. So yeah, that's basically, I just say, you know what, there's no point, stop complaining about it. Why don't you do something about it? And that's basically how we got into this journey of Emerging Keblan, a Keblan Awakening series, and so many other projects anyway, where, there's so many things we want to do, so many things we want to touch upon, but obviously one project at a time. But we are getting there. People are reaching out. That's how I met you, and a lot more people. And social media, this is what I use it for. And I don't use it for anything else. I just use it to reach out to people.
Yeah.
TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. That's basically all I need it for, because obviously I've been censored so many times, even on this account here. During the COVID times, I got censored on this, I got shut down something because I could see the fakery that they're doing. I was posting about it because, when you've basically looked around and see, go deep, you see when the fakery is coming, you can see it from a mile. I just know that whatever these guys are doing, there's nothing they're doing that's gonna help people. There's nothing they're doing that's gonna, they're not doing anything positive for us. It's basically for them to just get richer and get people, and get people just screwed up, excuse my language, they're just messing people up. And this is basically what we people need to understand, that these systems are not there to help none of us. Yeah, so yeah. I'll let you out, yeah.
Sorry, I don't know where to start because I love what you do so much and I appreciate it. I'm always looking for more wisdom and knowledge, but your platform specifically, I don't know how else to say it other than direct. So especially the episode that you guys did where you were speaking to the author of The Economic
Hitman, yeah, John Perkins.
Yeah, I was there when you conversation. I'm looking around in my living room like, why is nobody seeing this and hearing this? Because it's things that obviously I didn't know the ins and outs of how they work specifically.
Oh yeah.
But together in my brain in terms of nobody would just hand something over like that. Nobody would hand over their land and their resources and their this and their that. So there had to be some level of manipulation. There had to be some of like a threat or something that they could a perception that they give to you, or an illusion that makes you feel like you have to surrender, and you don't. So, for yourself, I recognize all of this stuff as ancestral wisdom, and so how do you like incorporate living in today's society and still be awakened, and still be a trailblazer, and still be all of those things? And I ask that not even for other people right now, I ask that for myself, because sometimes it's not that I feel like what's the point, it's just that I feel like our people don't want to listen all the time, and also sometimes it feels like nothing's changing.
Yeah, it's hard, Ebony. It's really hard, but you got to make your mind up. And that's basically, I got to that stage in my life where, you know what, I've made my mind up. I could be the only right person in a million. It doesn't matter. So I'm blinkered to what's around me, because I know in my consciousness that most of the people are just following the wrong path.
Yeah.
You know, I know that for a fact, because I see it. Because once you go deep and you study everything around you, you just know that. And you know, I'm not Christian. And I used to be one, but I came out of it because I saw the manipulation in it. But even in the Bible, it says, you know, the road to heaven is the road to heaven is narrow, and the whole road to hell is wide.
Yeah.
Even the Bible says that. So basically, you can see so many people following the wrong path, and that's basically, I've made my mind up. You know, consciously, I'm just gonna stick to. I'm do what I'm doing, because I'm in my spirit. I'm at peace, because I know that the things that I see, nobody see. Obviously, people are waking up, but and what actually made it even better was the fact that my wife aligns with my thinking.
Yeah.
So it makes it so.
Another person who thinks just like you. That's when I'm not mad anymore. And since then, I was just like, okay, fine.
So my wife makes it so easy, because we are kind of the weird ones in the family, because we come up with all these things and people are looking at us weirdly. But me and now we can sit down and have a chat. And I used to, like, I raced ahead. Basically, I was going deep and deeper, and my wife was like way behind me, and she started gradually coming up. And basically, I say we're actually basically, even though I'm still further ahead, but I think she's catching up with me, because she's more curious and more curious, and she's trying to learn more. So having my wife there, if anything, I just talk to her, I can tell her anything, and I'm not gonna feel weird. And I used to encourage her, because my wife's kind of, when you're talking about spirituality, my wife is spiritual.
Yeah.
Not spiritual in the sense of the Christianity, but she has that gift where she knows, she can sense things. You know, she can tell you what's gonna happen, even without it happening, before it happens.
My great grandma was a medicine woman, and so a lot of her gifts have been passed through my lineage. But until I started doing the things to tap in, so it started years ago with don't eat that, don't drink that, don't. And now I'm starting to look at everything and what's inside of everything, and I'm like, okay, I get it. And when I stay away from those things, my powers increase. And so my intuition is so sharp. Like you said, all the stuff that's fake and not true and authentic, I can spot it just like that.
Yeah.
It was just, what do I do now? But I feel like I just use my age as an excuse sometimes, because not a lot, there's barely anyone my age who is awake like this and understands the importance of going back to our traditional practices. And not because first I went into that mindset of maybe I should just go back to Nigeria and live in a hut somewhere and delete social media and all of those things.
Yeah. You know what? I'm in the process, basically. We're in the process of basically moving back to Nigeria anyway. Because I've been doing this work. I've been going back and forth. I've been to Nigeria this year. I've been there 4 weeks. I was there for 4 weeks. And we're just basically getting ourselves prepared to go back. And you're talking about hut. We're going to build a place where we're going to have huts on the ground. You know, we're talking about, you know about seed bank. The seed bank's going to come. We're going to have a farm. We're going to have a restaurant. Basically, we're going to go back to authentic. You know, I have a farmer. You've probably heard of Farmer Collar.
Yeah.
He's been in our program before. We're working with him. And with the plans and ideas we have, it's just going back to the authentic. You know, we're going to have, calabash. to eat food in, the stuff, the pots, the pots that we used to have water, things like that. We're just gonna go back to those things, and we're gonna create that kind of environment that brings you back to natural processes. And obviously, you can't do in Lagos, so we're basically moving away from because I can't stand Lagos, too busy for my liking. So we're going back into the sticks where we're gonna build all these things, man. But yeah, we can make these things happen. It's more than possible, but you got to make your mind up to want to do these things. And like you said, in the system is hard because knowing what you know and seeing what you see. I'm in the UK at the moment. I struggle to eat food. I go into supermarkets and I can't buy nothing. But obviously, you gotta eat. You gotta eat. So I eat as minimal as possible. Speaking to the farmer caller, I say when I go to Nigeria, I've been to Nigeria. When I was in Nigeria, I ate so much. I came back, my wife cooks for me, and the food just did not taste the same. I said, nothing against you, darling, but your food just doesn't taste as good.
No, but it's true.
It just doesn't, it's just different. So, but to do this, it's not easy. You're gonna be on your own, but that's why you need people you can bounce off, just like-minded people. I'll send you my number when we're done. Yeah, reach out to me, talk to me, man. So because it's a lonely road, man. But once you make your mind up, trust me, man, you will find your own people who are gonna once you start putting your stuff out there, people are gonna gravitate towards you. And that's basically what I've been doing for the last 2 years. I just I made on LinkedIn, I made up my mind about 2 years ago. I had about 1,500 followers. I didn't even use it. And I thought, you know what, I can use this thing because I looked at LinkedIn and thinking, these are the most indoctrinated and brainwashed people on here because the most educated are. So how can I use this, what I'm thinking? That's why you can see my posts, Oladele's thoughts. I put them out there. And I've been doing it consistently, and the key is consistency. I've been doing it consistently for the last, I'm going to say about 18 to 2 years now. That's why, as of yesterday, I hit 30,000 followers on LinkedIn. No, that's no joke. But
yes, especially when you're speaking truth.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to get followers if you post memes and you do this and gossip but when it comes
you know what? People want to know the truth.
Yeah.
But people are scared. And people don't want to align with the truth, obviously, because of what they do, and they don't want to come across like a controversial or this and that. So the amount of people that tell me, you know what, they message me privately. What you're saying is actually true, but obviously because of work, and obviously, yeah. And when you're in this matrix, you got to protect your livelihood, and that's basically how the system's got us. So you can't speak truth because you have to feed up the system.
That's what I'm saying. Like everyone's settling. And if they was just to let go of what is a Western way of being, because if we went back home to build amongst each other, we could do that. That's how we lived anyway. But it's just going to take a lot of work.
Yeah, it takes work, but it can be done. And for me, we're doing it. It's not holding me back anyways. I'm going to do it. And people who want to see what I do, we put it out there. Whatever we want people to know, we put it out there. The ones we're doing quietly, we won't say nothing. Yeah. But because obviously, you know how the system is. But we are doing what we're doing, and we're determined. And the fact, like I said, my wife is 100% behind me. Without her, I cannot do it. So basically, she's my spiritual eye on the journey, and she's on board. She can't wait. And then that's what
I had to learn about. I grew up very much in my masculine energy, and so I had to learn about feminine energy and how masculine and feminine pair together. And so when you say I for you, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And we bounce off each other, and I say this all. I say it I shout from the rooftop. We kind of it's an equal equilibrium that basically and it's kind of funny. She's thinking something, I'm thinking something, and she say it, I'm saying something, and I'm going, wow, wow, and then we basically think of the same thing. And once you get to that level of consciousness and spiritual awakening and deep thought, and the more you keep looking, the more you're gonna, the more you just keep, asking questions, the more answers you're gonna get. Because your creator will actually say no, that okay, this person's ready for more and more revelations. And as I do what I do every single day, sometimes I'm not even looking for stuff, and I'll find stuff, and I'm thinking, wow, and I would just put it out there, and it's a spiritual thing, and people don't understand when I say what I'm doing is spiritual thing, because a lot of things that I put out there is just something I'm not looking for, something that would just pop in my face, or somebody would send something to me, and it aligns with what I'm thinking. So this digital thing, we can actually use it for
Yeah,
positive.
that's the
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
Akashic records or
Pardon?
do have you heard of Akashic records?
No, no, I
So
haven't. No.
basically it's the concept of like in Islam they say that before you, I don't know if it's in Islam actually, forget the religion stuff.
Mm,
It's how they say that the divine gives you your path before you get here and you accept it and then you're born and you live it out.
yeah,
And so your records is the purpose that
yeah,
God has given you
yeah,
specifically.
yeah.
And so one of my gifts is that I'm able to help people to find their gifts and tap into their purpose.
Yeah.
And that's why I embrace Trailblazers, because there's so many young people who are looking at the wrong things in terms of what it means to be successful and completely ignoring their gifts and everything that God has given to tap into who they should be. So yeah,
But
I'm really glad.
you cannot blame them because I've got a 33-year-old, I've got a 27-year-old, I've got a 20-year-old. You know what? This journey started about with my son. My son is 33 years old now, and when he was about 17, 18, he used to tell me stuff, deep stuff, and I used to like just fob him off and think, "What do you know?"
Yeah.
But he was persistent and telling me stuff, and then I think, there might be something about what he's saying, and that's basically how I start looking deeper and deeper, and I'm thinking, wow. So my son has that gift. Even my daughter, she's kind of like a mum, so they have this spiritual thing. So it basically passes on. But like I said, it's difficult in this system, mostly for youngsters, because everybody wants the house, they want the car, they want to match up to their peers, and people. That's basically what the system has made you think that's value, which it isn't. But it's superficial, and it basically gives you, instant kind of gratification for now. But deep down in there, you're still lost. You're still wanting for something deeper. And what you're doing, for your generation, I think you can't stop doing it. You're on this path, just like me. Just keep doing it. Keep doing what you're doing. It's not going to be easy, like I said. People are gonna think, "Oh, she's crackers," maybe.
That's it.
Yeah, but it just gotta do and stay true to yourself, man. Because like you said, your ancestors have given you that thing. It's like I know what I have to do, and that's why I say uncompromising. I say it as it is. I'm just doing what I need to do. And I know that I'm not. I sometimes don't even know where I'm going, but
Yeah.
I know just follow that spiritual path, and basically doors will open because you find people who are gonna people come to you and think, oh, you know what, what you're saying now, I want to be part of this, and that's basically how we are and where we get into where we are. Because when we started the organization, there's probably about 3 or 4 of us. We've had so many people come and go. Some have left, some have come back. But yeah, and there's a core of us, but we keep pushing, and then some will join us. I know some will leave, but that's part of life. But as long as you believe and the people around you see what you're doing and you're open and transparent about it, and there's no funny business, yeah, you're gonna do what you can do. But actually, in this world, it's hard. Trust me, man, Ebony, it's hard because everybody, like I say, they're down the path of destruction. Yeah, but it's hard. But you're gonna find, and I go on TikTok quite a lot as well because every so often I do a TikTok live, and people are awakened. The youth are awakened a lot.
Yeah.
It's just that they're just finding people who they're gonna come behind, or somebody's gonna just, like I say, trailblazers, man. That's great. So yeah, you need because just if you can just go on TikTok live, do it every so randomly. Just start building a network. Just reaching out. Links TikTok. Basically, it wasn't. I have 2 TikTok accounts. Like I say, I got my personal account. I got Imagine a Kevlan. My personal one was basically I started it. I got censored on it, so I opened the other one. Now the other one is basically got almost 116,000 followers on it. Not by design, but it just happened that whenever I post something on it, it hits and hits.
Yeah.
So there are people who are just who are looking for this information, and right now people are looking for that information. But once they get information, where do we go? So we need to be the vehicle they use to move them to the next level. So we need to encourage you. And that's basically, you're on this path. Like I say, I'm going to encourage you. Do what you're doing. I saw one of our programs. I could see you just typing away. I could see, because obviously I was live, and I could see all the comments coming through. I think, oh, she's keen. So
I think I was cooking and I'm listening in my head and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I have to run back and raging, honestly.
Yeah. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to speak about is your seed bank.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm going to ask you how yours works specifically, but I only heard of something like a seed bank a couple of days ago. I was listening to a podcast by Yaki Away. I don't know if you know who.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
He was speaking about his seed bank that he tried to start, and he was upset because he said none of the students like sowed their seeds and sent the seeds back. So I wanted to hear from you how it works and see if I can get involved.
Okay. Like I said, and this is like part of networking, and like when the people Kola, Nathiru, who's the guy, he's in Nigeria. He's a farmer, which helps a lot. So he basically is on the ground with the farmers. He knows exactly what's going on. So when I was in Nigeria, I met him the first one-on-one, first time. I've never met him before, and then we sat down, we had a chat, and he basically, I looked him in the eye and I said, mate, this is me. You know, what you see is what you get. There's no, like I say, I'm sincere, honest to do what I'm meant to do, and that's basically why I'm coming back to Nigeria. So we started talking, and yeah, that's how I got to meet him. And then the idea of the seed bank came obviously recently. You know, I don't know if you watched the one where we had with Rotendo, Martin come on. Rotendo Martin is basically a Zimbabwean guy who sued a corporation in Zimbabwe because they had glyphosate in the food, which is basically a remnants of the GMO seeds. Yeah, so he sued them, and obviously David against Goliath. Basically, the Zimbabwe government didn't back him up, and the South African government is suing him because he took these companies to court. Based on what he told us, he basically told us that Zimbabwe has the most cancer in the world, Zimbabwe, because even though GMOs are illegal, but they bring it into the country illegally, and they started during the times of Robert Mugabe. He didn't know about it because we're against it, but things were happening that he did not know about. So this is basically, you know, when I have these conversations with, you know, that's with him talking about things like that, and then talking to Kola, because we brought Kola on to talk about this as well, and he's him telling us that a lot of farmers basically are committing suicide because when they get the GMO seeds, they expect a particular yield, but once you get the GMO seeds, for you to get the yield, you need then the chemicals to back it up.
That's what I was going to say, because they're not.
So our local farmers didn't understand this. So they got the seed thinking like it's normal seed, just grow it and it should grow. But unfortunately, a lot of them got bankrupt because they pour that money into buying all the seeds, but they don't get the yield. And it is becoming suicidal to them. So him having that conversation, speaking to Rotendo, and then, you know, my host, Unduku, you know, she got fired up about the whole thing. You know what, we need to do something about this. You know,
her, by the way, she's like, when she was, I was like,
you know what, she's like, she's fiery. So she goes, Oladele, we have to do something about this. So yeah, that's basically how she contacted Kola to speak to Kola about it. We spoke to Kola. Kola was on it straight away. He basically looked into how we can do it. So so we went to speak to local rulers in Sampa in Oyo State, and they gave us an acre of land. So the local rulers are actually on board. Basically, showed it to them, so they know exactly what we're trying to do. So they're on board. So we got the acre, and he's got some land around that area as well. So basically, we're going to be building the seed bank on that particular that area. Then the land they gave us. Basically, the local rules. When I go back to Nigeria, so there's another town next to that. I'm going to speak to King as well. So we're going to get the local people on board, basically, to see the value of what we're trying to do. And yeah, that's how the whole thing started. So he started. He's done the survey already. The next phase now is basically for us to do the architectural drawing for the seed bank. So that's the next phase. But the whole idea of this, just preserve our seeds. We know what Bill Gates is doing all over the world, man. He's basically messing up our food. And where this is going is basically for them to say that, okay, the farmers they can't feed themselves. We're gonna bring our solutions. And that's how they always do. They always bring the solutions once they push you to do things, or when you can't sustain things.
Solutions.
They find problems to bring solutions. And that's the playbook. So what we're saying is, in order for us to counter this narrative, we need to do something about it. And that's basically how the Seed Bank initiative came about. And this basically, we're hoping by the end of next year, it'll be fully functional. But yeah, but there's a lot more into that. There's a lot more layers that we're going to bring into that, but one at a time. But that's how the Seed Bank started. And as a project, what do we start? Because I've dealt with education before. I've spoken to educators in Kenya who are doing amazing work. Terry Kanayo and her husband. And I thought, can we start with education? And then thinking of food. But everything is like providence. Things happen for a reason. So like I say to you, it's a spiritual journey. So this one just started. And I couldn't even, things were running ahead of me. I couldn't control it anymore. I was saying to my wife, you know what? If this is going to be, this is it. And this is how the Seed Bank became the '1 project.
I thought you was going to say you're like sharing seeds out for people to grow stuff and then they send you the seeds back.
No. Basically, the process is he's got land. So what he's going to do is he's going to grow this. We're going to grow our seeds by ourselves because we still have seeds that are just not messed up yet. So he's going to grow them and he's going to basically store them. So we have the land to do that. So we're going to be growing all sorts of things. So we're not relying on anybody to give us nothing. We still have the seeds there on the ground. So we are going to grow our own seeds. And we know it's not GMO. It's basically ours. It's indigenous seed. And we're going to grow and protect it. So that way we're doing it ourselves. Yeah.
Honestly, when I eat food that's not natural, I just feel sick.
Yeah.
So now I've got my little tomato plant upstairs, but the goal is to move back home and start my own farm as well.
Yeah, you're more than welcome, man. The more of us back home, and guys, we need to realize that in the West, they have the life, the trinkets and everything, but they built. And how did they build? They built by exploiting others. They didn't build off their own ingenuity. No, they didn't. And a lot of things that they follow, they copied from us anyway.
Yeah.
And this is where the education and indoctrination and brainwashes come in, through religion, through education, through perverting history. They did all these things, by not being honest.
Exactly. So
how can I trust the people that have been so deceitful and so deceptive to tell me the truth? I got to that stage and I'm sorry, there's nothing they can tell me that, it just doesn't fit because I know there's no honesty. And they're talking about morality and ethics. They haven't got a clue.
That line a very long time
ago. They haven't got a clue what that sounds like or what that is, man. Because they've lied so much, it's become normal for them. It's become a normal thing. So they can lie, blue in your face. They'll put the systems, the policies in place, lies built into all of it, just to keep things going. So, corruption is built in the system.
But as more of us awaken, I feel like it's all breaking down anyway.
Oh yeah, big time. It's happening because, like I said, when I go on these platforms, I'm just browsing around, just hearing what people are saying, and I can see there's more and more people coming out and talking now. There's a lot more. When we started this about 2 years ago, there was basically a lot of the stuff that I put out there. People think, wow. Now all the stuff that I used to put out, which was news, you can see everybody just repeating it, and there's so many things, and that's why I have to go deeper because I'm going deeper, looking for finding more, because I'm going deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
Today, if you look at my LinkedIn, I'm talking about clothes. Yeah, the polyester and the nylon in our clothes, the clothes we wear. Basically, how dangerous. What polypetroleum is dangerous to our bodies anyway. But we're wearing polyester and nylon, which is basically petrochemicals.
Yeah.
So you can imagine what that's doing to your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. You watch it. It's on LinkedIn. You can go watch it later on. Watch it later on. I talked about that, and that's what I'm looking. I'm trying to let people know that things are not what they seem. Because all we're doing is working to buy all these things that are hurting us. You work so hard. You go to the supermarket to buy food. The food you're buying is not even nourishing your body. You go into the supermarket, Ebony, and for a supermarket to have this is the healthy section. It's not even that big. So what does that tell you?
It's true.
Yeah. So
recently, a lot of our foods aren't even coming from a natural source. It's just
they're not
being created in effect.
No, they're not, and that's why if we keep going down this path, that's why you're gonna have more and and more diseases, more and more obesity, cancer, all these things are going to keep coming and coming. And guess what? They built the system. Now they have businesses feeding off it. The pharmaceuticals, they're making money. We moved away from allopathic. We moved away from holistic to allopathic.
Yeah.
The allopathic is basically dealing with, not even dealing with the root cause, just dealing with the superficial, what's it called, diagnosis. Not they don't even want to know exactly how you got here. They're just giving you something to maintain, so that you can actually keep buying those drugs to actually maintain yourself until you pass away. That's the kind of that's the medicine we have.
It's messed up.
Yeah.
We had a question here for you. So someone said, "This is such a noble path. How have you maintained your integrity on this journey?"
Yeah, you just gotta make your mind up, guys. You know, you have to. You know, if you're gonna do this, you know, you're reaching out to people, and if you lie, you're gonna get found out. So if you know you're gonna get found out, what you're not gonna last doing what you're doing. So integrity is the number one key. You just be yourself and just be open and honest. You just have to be honest, because at the end of the day, like I said, if you lie, you're gonna get found out. So, and I have a bigger journey, and me lying is not gonna get me nowhere. Because you know, the ones that lie, you see where they are. You know, eventually you're gonna get caught and you're gonna get pulled down. But what I'm doing is basically an ancestral journey for me. It's a spiritual journey for me. And lying, it's not an option, because you just gotta be honest. Yeah, just be yourself. It's hard because people are gonna, you know, on LinkedIn, as you can see, I have white people coming onto my DM and saying, let's do this business together, let's do that business together, because they know.
Yeah.
You know, at some point I had more white people reach out to me than my own African people. But I've made up my mind that I'm not doing no deals with a Caucasian person. It's a black person or nothing. And sometimes we are the hardest people to deal with. We're the hardest people to follow. But I know there are people who are going to align and we can do things. And this basically the people I find around me. There's not many of us, but it only takes a few of us to do what we need to do. So you don't need everybody. You just need people who align and who agree. And obviously we're going to have disagreements here and there and the way forward, because you can see me and Nduku sometimes, and you can see how she is. She's fiery. We argue. We've had a few arguments, but the goal is still the same, you know, and as long as you understand that, yeah.
That's the point. That's why even before I understood, we'll call it what I call it, the mission, I knew that I had to be intentional. And it's because I'd been aware of just such dark energies from such a young age, whether it was like the actual corporate people or seeing my family work for them and how it was affecting them, and the mindsets that they was picking up and all of that stuff. And he said, when the money comes through, it's easy to switch it up, but that's only if you get money and you now allow that to make you feel like you're a different person and like everything has changed because of that. And I feel like that's been an issue in our community, in terms of there's so many black people who have wealth who didn't pay it forward, or there's so many people who maybe don't understand. I just feel like everything has been changed. The definitions of stuff. Abundance is having everything that you need, and that's not monetary value at all. That's the family, that's the support, that's the fact that if you nurture the earth is going to nurture you. But a lot of people just see abundance as, oh, I have all the money and I can do this and I can do that. And so having to go through a period of my life where I had nothing, I didn't have the money, I didn't have the this, I didn't have the that, but I had myself, I had my connection to spirit. I would go on walks and be in nature, and I was fine, and I was okay, and I was happier than most of the people in my life who, my age, who are flying out and doing this and doing that, and think I'm missing out and will say this about me and say that about me because I don't want to partake. It's like, you guys are confused, and I'm trying to help you, but if you don't want to hear it, then I can't force you.
Yeah, like I said, people will gravitate towards you, and for the younger, like I said, for the younger generation, it's difficult because we're in the system. We still have to survive in this system. We have to maintain. But you can find that, in as much as you're doing what you're doing, you can find a balance on a level. You know, just knowing that you're doing this, okay, to get you from A to B, but I have a bigger goal, and don't get lost in that. Just stay focused on that while you're doing what you're doing. And that's what helped me. In as much as I'm in the system, but I know I have to use the system to leverage myself to get, because you still need the fund. We need to build all this brick. We need the money. So we can't be stupid and think, oh no, you don't want, you can't shut your back on what you have, because that's all there is. So, but you can create your own utopia, and this is basically what we're gonna create. You know, we're still gonna, and it's all about the Ubuntu. I am because you are because I am. It's like communal, collective building amongst the community, and let's build that project, and that's why I love it. And where we are, it's like Farmer Callers basically reaching out to all the farmers. It's because of the local chiefs and everything. So, and when you can build that community, you can imagine how far that's going to go. You know, the things he talks about. You know, when I talk to him, you know, I'm thinking, wow, you know what, this is going to be big. You know, where we're going with this, if we can, and we were going to do it anyway. It's not about if, it's when it starts. But yeah, but you gotta just do those things and believe in the process and just let it happen. Don't be overcomplicated about preparing yourself, and this just let it flow, and things will happen. Things will happen naturally, as long as you're honest and you follow it on the spiritual path.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for coming on and for joining.
You're more than welcome.
And doing my research on more of your episodes, and
we talk about everything. Next one we got next Sunday, actually not this Sunday, next Sunday we got Oladele coming on. I don't know if you know him. He's a political activist. It's basically, I've been following him for years now. Anyway, we're about the same age, and he owns Sahara Reporters online newspaper. I don't know if you heard of Sahara Reporters before. Yeah, it's an online newspaper, and he's been calling out the corruption in government for years. So, and you know, people are bringing on the radicals just like me. So I don't bring on people who are there to massage the corruption. No, I don't. So that's going to be a good one. We're going to be talking about African politics. Why they corrupt, and I'm sure it's going to be fun. So yeah.
Definitely.
Thank you, Ebony. It's been a pleasure. Keep doing what you're doing, my young lady. You know what? You're going to get there, man. This path is not an easy one, but if your ancestors told you to do it, you can never go wrong, because the blessings are going to come.
It's true.
I believe that, and I know that, because you know, sometimes I haven't got the most money to do stuff, but things just happen. People are going to come and they're going to bless you, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very, very, very much.
You're welcome. All right, speak to you soon.
Take care.
Okay, bye.